A great city, large or small, is defined by the quality of its public realm. The design of the public spaces. They enrich the city and the citizens. They make it a greater place to live. They make it a greater economic success.
At the end of the day, you want to be able to say, I can look back on having left a mark on making my community a better place. That's what the Institute allowed me to do. To really say, what could it be if we imagine greatness?
Talking about design, you're talking about the language of problem solving in places. MICD is focused on design, and more of the work of the mayors is related to how they can think of themselves as their city's problem solvers, and design has a major role in that.
You have 9 mayors bring their challenges to the best and the brightest. And I've seen with my own eyes how mayors have changed after they have come back from a design institute.
The Mayor's Institute gives mayors the tools and confidence. When you have professionals give you good feedback, that's dollars. That's currency that you can bring home.
That institute is a reservoir of expertise for mayors to think about the big and small projects they're engaged in when it comes to changing the landscape of their cities.
How you grow a city cannot be in a haphazard fashion or just kind of everyone doing whatever they're doing. Design matters.
It brings an education to you in a matter of 2 or 3 days that you just can't get anywhere else.
It helps you to realize that you can do more than you thought you could.
When I went back and my staff asked me, so how was it? And my response was, I feel like my head exploded. I was like, wow, it's incredible.
Mayors work very hard on budgetary matters and political matters every day. The decision a mayor makes about the design, those decisions will positively impact the city for generations.
50 years from now, people will ride by a park, by a performing arts center, and they will admire it and they will feel good about it, and they will appreciate what that mayor did after a Mayor's Institute on City Design.
Miami 21 is the most important zoning legislation to be passed in this country in perhaps decades.
This was a revamp of the entire city code affecting every neighborhood of the city of Miami. And the political climate was very hard, particularly when you're doing something as dramatic as we did. But the truth is, the craziness that had been developed through multiple amendments of the old code, what that created was a tremendous amount of conflict between neighborhoods and developers. Their quaint, single-family home neighborhood had a 20, 30-story building right next to it. What Miami 21 does now is create that environment where mixed uses can coexist.
Manny, being the student that is, picked up what he learned from the Mayor's Institute and created the comprehensive vision for the future of the city.
There is no question that Miami 21 wouldn't be what it is today, but for my experience with the Institute. The Institute showed me how important a city's design is, and in that discussion, my convictions for Miami 21 became crystallized and maybe even a stronger advocate for what I wanted to accomplish.
The heart of the city is a 54-acre site that was designed to be a mixed-use development, a place where people would come to gather, a place that is an urban setting in a suburban environment.
The heart of the city that you see today was not always the heart of the city.
It was your typical suburban development with different uses that were disconnected. It became old and depressed and blighted.
But many years ago, the community came together and had a vision for something better.
The Performing Arts Center was the biggest controversial piece, and it was part of the package that I brought to the Mayor's Institute.
Facilities like Burnsville's Performing Arts Center do require public commitment, and that was not an easy decision for our local leadership.
The Mayor's Institute played a great part in helping me because I was confident with the feedback that I received from the financing side and the marketing analysis side. We moved forward.
We project the heart of the city will generate $2 to $3 million in property tax compared to the $200,000 that was being collected prior to this redevelopment.
Today, the Burnsville Performing Arts Center stands as a beacon that we are serious about reinvesting in our community. When you have great design, that's art, and you know it has great value.
Long Beach really was a Navy town up until the early 1990s. The Base Closure Commission first acted in 1991 and later acted in 1995. We lost about 58,000 jobs, accounting for well over $2 billion in economic impact. Long Beach really wasn't a nosedive. It was a very tough period of time, but we had to move forward. We had to create a future for ourselves. The redevelopment of downtown has really been built on design principles that we felt would make the downtown interesting, vibrant, sustainable over time. Whether it's the aquarium or the boat harbor, it's the retail, the restaurants, the commercial behind it, and so forth. This panoramic view of the downtown over my shoulder just didn't look the same. It's really a public place now where people like to come with their families.
I was born and raised in the city of Long Beach, and quitting wasn't an option. My project was the downtown area of our city, and I came away inspired from the discussions that we had at the Mayor's Institute. The Mayor's Institute gave me confidence, and when I came back, I talked with more authority because I had found so many things that were helpful to so many cities that we could replicate.
What happened downtown really was a catalyst for development activity throughout the entire city, and I think you're seeing greater energy and excitement throughout the community.
The change in our city has been dramatic. We're very proud of what's happened.
Providence is an incredibly beautiful city. It's a city that respects design. Good design in the development of buildings and public space really matters. One of the great urban celebrations of Providence is Waterfire. Millions of people have come to Providence to see Waterfire and have been really mesmerized by that experience in the center of the downtown. The Mayor's Institute on City Design changed my perspective as mayor, made me understand my responsibilities to be the chief and best designer I could be for my city. It was 3 of the most valuable days of my life as a new mayor because it really taught me to look at plans and proposals and designs in a different way, to evaluate it with a different standard, and to learn and understand the importance of good design in the development of cities.
Our waterfront park is our front doors. People come into the state, they see this beautiful green expanse right on the waterfront. They say, what's going on here? People look at a city and say, this is someplace special.
Before we had this incredible waterfront, they used to have names for Louisville like Rust City or Junk City, because as you came across the bridge, you look at the waterfront and it was just piles and piles of junk.
And it was 85 acres of really unappealing land use.
And the question then was, what do you do?
Reclaiming the river as its front yard is the first thing the waterfront park did. What that has done is created a sort of beloved icon, touted as a place you must visit when you arrive in Louisville.
The Institute played a major role. because it gave me the ability to interact, ask the right questions, talk about possibilities. And the Institute made very clear to me, design it in a way that it connects to the people. Turning this waterfront to one of the most beautiful spots in the Commonwealth of Kentucky has had a ripple effect for hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in housing, in entertainment venues, all within walking distance of the park.
Every city have what seem to be insurmountable issues. And so it's important to help people realize that those odds are not insurmountable and that there are great possibilities.
If you ask people where they want to live, it has to do with social offerings, with openness, and with aesthetics. So I think in the future, you're talking about creating places where people want to live, the businesses, the economy will follow.
Design and architecture has the power to transform cities and to actually transform people's lives. It's a powerful, powerful tool. All of the issues that we deal with every day in living in cities are affected by design and the design of those cities.
We know and we can see the great success stories throughout America in every region.
I'm very excited about the future of cities. And certainly having the Institute around is going to help lead all of us into a brighter future.